I'm Dave from the Vickers Machine Gun Collection and Research Association. What we're going to be talking about today is the creation of the submachine gun and why submachine guns exist as a classification of firearms. They're very much a product of the First World War. So soldiers who go into action in the First World War in 1914 are overwhelmingly equipped with bolt-action rifles, like the short magazine Lee-Enfield hits, as issued to the British Army. These are 5 to 10 round magazined rifles which operate using a bolt-action rifle. Every time you cycle the action, you fire a round and eject the empty one. The industrial warfare of 1914 to 1918 leads to the creation of a problem. Trenches are a solution to the issue of artillery, machine guns, and modern rifles. Throughout the war, solutions are found to get soldiers to the enemy trenches. Modern artillery, machine gun barrages, like using weapons like the Vickers machine gun, and tanks get soldiers from their trenches to the opposition trenches. However, the problem remained in getting troops, once they were in the trenches, to be able to clear them out properly. Now, 1914, 1915, 1916, this is done with, for the British, Lee-Enfield rifles, their bayonet attached to the end of the rifle, and hand grenades. Some cases for trench raids, and trench raids played a huge role within trench warfare, whether to take prisoners, to find out information, or simply to disrupt the enemy, were often conducted with weapons like revolvers. Okay, so this is the Webley Mark VI, as issued to the British Army. Now, these weapons are not produced on the same scale as rifles. They are used by officers and specialists, so they are not built in the quantity that is needed for large-scale troop movements across the battlefield. 1918 is that moment where we see the submachine gun being created. A gun with intense firepower over very short distances, ideal for clearing people out of the confines of a trench. So we'll see in a second. Rifles are long, they're unwieldy, they're difficult to move in a very, very narrow trench, especially when you put a bayonet on the end of it. Submachine guns, on the other hand, are short, they're compact. The country to get there first is the Germans in 1918, with the MP-18, the Maschinenpistole 1918, the machine pistol. It uses a pistol caliber cartridge, 9mm. Now, we don't have one of those, they're very rare in the UK. What we do have instead is the American equivalent, the Thompson. Now, the first model of the Thompson was tested in 1919, just after the war, but it was designed to fix that problem. How do you clear a trench? How do you move through trenches and remove the occupants of them? Grenades and bayonets are not necessarily the most efficient way of doing that, but a submachine gun is a pretty effective way of doing so. What you're going to see is a rifle presented with 2 targets at 10 meters to simulate meeting occupants of a trench at a short distance. 4 rounds are going to be fired, 2 on each target. Repeated that twice. You're then going to see this Thompson as our stand-in for the submachine gun of 1918, doing the same thing, but with roughly 2 5-round bursts on each target. So what you'll see is the game-changing firepower that these small automatic weapons bring to clearing out trenches and confined spaces. What you've just seen is hopefully a very clear demonstration of why submachine guns were such a game changer when they were issued in 1918. Now, the Germans issued the MP-18 in very small numbers. As mentioned already, the Thompson didn't actually see action. It was experimented with in 1919. But this laid the way for the future of the Second World War, where small compact weapons were used for armored vehicle crews and moving through trenches and through buildings. We've seen, frankly, the struggle that I had operating Lee-Enfield quickly at that close distance. Only 4 rounds, and it took about 5 to 6 seconds to take those 4 rounds on target. This Thompson submachine gun both targets were engaged really quickly within 6 seconds. You know, unbelievable firepower that is, you know, industrialized warfare allowed to happen.